Okay, so let's develop a new application. This one's going to be for restaurants at work, for people who want to list out their favorite restaurants for all the people at the company. So we're going to create a new project here, and we'll call this restaurants. And there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna need, let's see, I'm gonna need some content here. That's more what I need. Let's remove these items. Yeah, it's all gone. And let's see. Okay. What I want is the smallest possible project. I can't seem to click on it there. There we go. And let's go ahead and grab this guy. Git clone that thing into restaurants. Actually, even better, let's remove restaurants and let's paste this into restaurants. Oh, git clone. All right. So now, go into restaurants. We've got that there, and let's close this project. Let's reopen it. All right. Restaurants. And let's see. Kill all that. This looks good. Let's cut that out. Remove the current git directory and git init. Git add everything. Status. Looks good. Let's see, main app test. Even that looks all pretty good. Okay, so yeah, git commit. Initial commit. And now the first thing that I want to do is I want to have like a page I can actually see stuff. So it'll be easier that way to kind of get started. Let's go to source. I think I need like a new directory, web app, and then we'll call this one templates, and then in here just index for now. We can always change these later. Okay. Doc type HTML, head, body, title, favorite restaurants. I'm not going to get too caught up on trying to do this exactly right from the beginning. I'm going to work on something that kind of strikes at the heart of what I need, and then I can always modify it from there. So in here, what do we want? We want we do want an ordered list of list items like Alice's restaurant, and what is like another one? Restaurant at the end of the universe. Those are two famous ones. And then I want a little form where I can add in like new restaurant. And in here we're gonna have an input, type equals text, name equals restaurant, and let's take a look at this guy. All right, so that's kind of what I needed. Also, let's find a little bit of Unicode for doing Unicode up arrow. Simple. Okay, let's go with 2191. Let's just copy this and pop it there, and then a down arrow. That's pretty basic. Cool, okay. So that's what, oh, that's not what I want at all. Let's copy this guy instead. Down and up. Let's pop that in there. Really not exactly what I'm expecting, but let me try it on a different browser. Huh. I don't know what's happening there. Here, let me just copy a bunch of this stuff in and see what happens. Boom. What do we get? Nothing great at all. Wonder why that is. Let me take a look at it in another browser. Nothing. I think there's a way to say like the encoding lang set to Unicode HTML. Declare the encoding. All right, let's try that. All right, let's see what we get now. All right, there we go. Okay, so with that in mind, I kind of like these guys a little bit better. Let's cut out these. Let's take another look. All right, looks good. And in addition to this, I need a button. Add. The form is going to have a method of post and an action of add restaurant. That sounds good. What are we missing? Let's give it a little space so we can see more clearly. Oh, we should have a delete button too. Unicode X mark. That looks pretty good. copy that. We should probably put it on the other side so that it doesn't, so they don't accidentally hit that when trying, just to... All right, that's not bad. Not ideal, but we're getting closer. And then this guy is going to be an anchor tag. All right. So now it's something that we'll be able to click. So we'll say href equals... for now, we'll just leave it kind of empty. And then this guy up here, this restaurant, is going to be required if they're going to click that button. So we'll just say required. And min length is going to be 1. It has to be at least 1 character, but max length is going to be, we'll say 30, 40, 30. Okay. Now let's put an anchor tag around this guy. Okay. So now, yeah, you can see these are clickable. What do we got left? This is pretty good for now. Let's just do an initial commit. Adding an initial template. Okay. And now let's get some code in here. When they load this puppy up, what we're going to do is we're going to respond with the template. So we're going to say template processor for index processor is equal to new template. Or no, it's not that. It's template processor, build processor from a particular file. And the file... in here, I set my configuration. The static files is there. So the template, that's up to me. Right? Yeah. So we're going to go new file utils, and I need a logger, so we'll go with let's get the context. And now we'll say here context get logger and context get constants. And now file utils equal to that. Build processor. Read text file of source main web app templates indexed HTML. And now there, this guy goes right there. Dot render template map of. All right, let's just see if this works. Okay. Yep. Proceed. There it is. Wow. Right off the bat. So yeah, this is it's insecure because it's a self-signed certificate, but it is kind of doing what we want. Now, I don't have the endpoint set up to receive this, but we can already see that if I try clicking add and I don't give it anything, I mean these buttons are almost ready to go. So now I just need to do a little bit more detail work here. So some code in place. What do I want? Let's create an endpoint. So this guy wants to send to an endpoint called add restaurant. So let's do that. fs.getWebFramework.registerPath post and add restaurant. And what's going to happen is the request is going to come in. We're going to do some stuff, and we're going to return this. Okay, so this is just kind of a getting things tying together. So let's just run it and see what happens. Here we go, ASDF. So I clicked add, and all that it did was it let's see, it just rendered that. I kind of don't want to do that. I kind of want to, when I handle the post, I want to redirect. So I want to redirect to the index page. So let's rebuild. Okay. And reload that. Continue. And there we go. ASDF doesn't do anything. It just takes me back to the front. But what we're going to do is wire that up so that as I add new stuff, it goes in there. So what I need is a database. So let's do that. Context.getDatabase, and we'll say restaurants. And it's going to be a restaurant empty. This doesn't exist yet. We're going to make it exist. Restaurant. And it's going to implement DB data of type restaurant. It's going to implement the methods that it needs. Or wait, does it need that? I guess it does. Extends. Implement the methods. Awesome. So we're moving right along. This, I'm going to need like, okay, serialize helper. Serialize helper. And this needs a constructor. The index, the name. Now let's get those set up as fields. I think that's kind of all. Oh, I do need something else. I need like its level, its place in the list. So we'll say int place in list. Yeah. Okay, so right, that's pretty much it. It's the restaurant's name and where it is in the list, 1 through whatever. So let's generate equals and hash code for that. Let's generate a toString. Let's go back here. When we get the index, we will return the index. When we set the index, we will index is equal to index. And it doesn't like that because it's set as a final. Let's not make it final. The deserialize, this needs a deserialize helper. So I can just copy this stuff. I just want the help text on it. There it is. And this thing is a restaurant. And this is a string. And this guy is back to being, let's see, I think I need this to be long. Parse int, parse long. And this needs to be an integer, parse int. Okay. All right, so we have deserialize, we have serialize. Let's look at this guy. This is index, name, and place in list. All right, we got our serialize, deserialize, index equals hash code toString. We got pretty much most of the key items. So now, oh, we need the empty. So what is an empty? We have public, static, final. I always forget the exact order of these things. Empty is equal to new restaurant 0 empty string 0. Oh, it's a restaurant that is empty. There we go. Okay, so this will create a new database, restaurants. And now, when we add a restaurant, we will say restaurants dot write a new restaurant. And it's going to come from here. It's going to be, we're going to have a name. String restaurant name is equal to request dot get body dot as string restaurant And this is going to be a new restaurant of 0, restaurant name, and place in the list of 0 just to get started, and redirect there. And now as we add these guys, we won't worry so much about like where they are in place, but we are gonna list them. So when we render this template, let's adjust this just a bit. Okay, so when we get it, we have to get the list of restaurants. So we're going to say restaurants.values stream to list of restaurants, and then we're just going to say oh, here's what we'll do. Oh, you know what? We'll just say this. Stream.map x list item you know what? Restaurant needs some getters, doesn't it? Generate getter name and place in list. Okay. So now here we say get name dot collect joining and now so it's not a list anymore. Now it's a string restaurants string is equal to that, and here we'll say restaurants list restaurants string, and now this guy needs to exist in the template, so we'll go over to here, and instead of we want these guys too. I forgot about these. Fortunately, we have this all templated out, so let's grab this guy. This one looks a little bit better. And here we'll take this section out. X. So that means the name of the restaurant. Oh, the name goes there. All right, now we're a little bit closer. And here, instead of having this, we're just going to say, what was it? Restaurants list. All right, let's just see what this does. I don't even know if it's going to pass. Okay, there's nothing here, but let's say ASDF. Boom. All right, cool. So we've got something going here. Let's commit that. Getting list of restaurants going. Now instead of just showing it in whatever order it's originally at, let's sort it. So each one of these guys is going to come in sorted by comparator comparing int of restaurant get place in list. Since they're all 0 right now, honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. I think nothing too important is going to happen. Let's just see. Okay, so it's all still there. It's all 0. But if I press the up or down arrows, I want it to change its value. So what am I going to do there? Those up and down arrows, they probably need to be like forms, because you're posting that something is going up or down in the list. Although if I do it as a get, it's a lot easier. I don't have to include all the apparatus of a form. No, I think a form actually is probably the right way to go. So each one of those items, it's going to be a bit more involved than before. It's not going to be just this one string. So let's get that prepared. Here's a new file, restaurant entry.html. Can't type tonight. And we're going to start with this, but we're going to expand on it a bit. And it's okay to have a little nicer formatting, because it's going to get a little messy here. This guy, it's not going to be just an anchor anymore. And this isn't going to be a string concatenation anymore. It's going to be name goes here. To be clear, let's make it restaurant name. And this is not going to be an anchor, it's going to be a form. And it's going to have, let's see, what do I want here? This guy is going to be a button. It's going to be a type of submit. So instead of that, it's going to be a method of post and an action of delete restaurant. And the other information that needs is it needs an input of value of the ID for this restaurant. So restaurant ID. All right, so that's okay. And now, in turn, after, you're gonna have another method equals post, action equals increment position with a button type equals submit and a value of this, which I think is giving me what I want. We'll see in a second. And similarly, this is decrement position which will go there. And kaboom. Let's just see what that looks like. Not exactly what we wanted. Now this is going to be something that shows up in an HTML file that has the Unicode settings. So okay, maybe it doesn't look great, but we'll get there. We will get there. So now instead of putting in this whole string, we're going to do another template processor, and this one's going to be a restaurant item processor. And this goes to restaurant. Maybe I should call it entry because that's what I just called it. And here we'll go to templates, restaurant entry. And now here we will map this guy render template map of, is it just the one? It's just oh, I need the restaurant ID and restaurant name, so there's kind of a couple items I need. So for that reason I'm going to say map string my map is equal to new hash map my map dot put restaurant name goes there, x dot get name. The other one is the restaurant ID get, is that what I want? Yeah. And then, oh yeah, I need these hidden values here as well. Okay, yeah, so I'll always have those available, restaurant ID. We'll just say string value of, there we go. And now we'll say this map is what goes in there to render the template. And for each one of those, it renders that item. Okay. Definitely gonna be ugly, but let's see if it even compiles. Okay. Woohoo. Not pretty, but not the worst thing in the world either. Let's adjust these to go back to what they were a second ago. Terminal get log -p. I think it saves Unicode in the Git repo. Okay. Let's find that up and down arrow that we used to have. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Huh. It doesn't really like that. Here, let's copy it this way. It's funny copying Unicode characters. They don't always behave the way you expect. All right, so this one is the decrement, so that one's the down. Let's cut that out and put this one here. Great, okay. Let's run this guy again. Oh, wait, I missed something. What did I miss? Oh, it's already being used. Okay. In that case, yeah, let's rerun. All right, a lot closer. There's the up and down arrow. Let's fix that. And now, let's reload one more time. Reload this page. Okay, now we're talking. So these forms, I'm going to just say, hey, you know what? Forms display as inline. Kind of back to where we were, you see. Let's do that. Let's create some CSS. So in our index, we'll say there's a style sheet. No, it's a link of type style. No, I always forget this. No, it's meta, isn't it? Oh, I can never remember. What is the darn thing? Add style sheet to HTML. Let's go to MDN because then they don't hit me with ads. All right, there we go. Just copy that guy. Pop that in right there. And now I need static. So in the web app, I'm also going to need a directory for static. And we'll call this one main.css. So we'll say, let me just double check, where is static according to my configuration? Source main web app static. Okay, well, as it happens, that's exactly where I'm putting it. So that means we'll just say main.css. And main CSS is going to have just that one. Nope, not that. It's going to have this. Okay, let's reload the page because now we'll have something pointing to that CSS. Okay, it works. Looking pretty good. Now, if I click these buttons, it's not really going to do anything great. The increment and decrement, the delete. The delete I don't care about yet. Maybe I'll get it. We'll see. So far in main, I have this one for add a restaurant. I have this one for get the main page. And this here at the end, this is just part of the minim apparatus. That's where the instruction pointer waits because this is fully multi-threaded. So it just has to find a spot to sit and wait. So the other things that we need to have are an action for increment and decrement. So if we come to these with values, it's going to increment or decrement those values. So let's just add something. Increment position, and from the body we're going to get, oh, we need a name for these, don't we? There we go. ID is going to be the name. So we're going to get from the body the ID, which is then going to be converted integer. We'll say long.parse long ID. We're not going to handle many edge cases at this point. And we'll say, all right, let's say this one is called ID string, and this one is just ID. So here we're going to say restaurants.value. Let's use the search utils. Search utils.find exactly one. Restaurants.values.stream. Index is equal to ID. So that means this is the restaurant we want. And now that we have a restaurant, let's adjust it. So we'll say restaurant. We'll say restaurants.write new restaurant with the old one's index, the old one's name, except we're going to get whatever its place was in the list and increment it by 1. Oh, whoops. Let's cut that piece out. And we'll say int new place in list is equal to that. And this guy there. Okay. So we've incremented it, we've put it in spot, and then we redirect to that page. That's incrementing, and decrementing is extremely similar, just the other direction. So we'll do -1 there. And it's okay to have some duplication in your software, especially just as you're getting started and thinking things out. But then, of course, you want to stop and reassess as you go. But this is just kind of playing around, just seeing what you get. All right, so if I lower it, okay, it's not doing anything. What if oh, something is happening. Something weird is happening. Because it's sorting and it's going into the negatives and whatnot. This is weird. I don't even know what's happening. This is so strange. All right, we'll just say status. Let's see what's changed. Okie doke. So we've got a link in here now. We've got more code in our main file. We got some new, got an index, style sheet, the database type, and an entry in here. So rudiments of a sorted list starting to take shape. Okay. So let me understand what actually is happening. When you know what's going to make it a lot easier is I want to see what the order is. So let's say restaurant place in list. We'll say get place in list. We'll take this value and put it into the restaurant entry. Let's put it in as a hidden input. Just for fun. At least that way it won't show. Okay. Let's run this. Now, if we inspect this, we should see those values. So this one's -1, and it's up at the top. And then the next one down is 3. Or no, that's the... Sorry, that's... Okay, the first one's -1, the next one is 0. The next one is 0. If I increment here, this last one, its value is 1. And then this one's -1. So wait, what is it sorting on? It's doing a comparing int restaurant get place in list. Something is really strange here. Or maybe I'm just not thinking about it clearly. -1. Oh, of course. -1, and then this one is 0. Okay, so it is ordered because it's ascending. -1's the lowest, and then 0, and then 1. So I guess what I want is I want it ordered descending. Okay, that's totally doable. Here I can just say reversed order. Let's run this guy again. And now as I increase it and it gets to be a higher number, that should make it go higher in the list. Yeah, so there, it went up. And now I can go down. But the interesting thing is, since these all have their independent numbers, I could send it like way down, and now I'd have to send it multiple times up to go above these. But that said, it is kind of an interesting thing. The only thing left to do, just to get the rudiments running here, we just need to be able to delete things. So let's just do that. Let's add that last little piece. For a restaurant entry, there's a delete restaurant action. So we'll just copy this guy and delete restaurant. We'll get the ID, and once we have the restaurant, instead of adjusting its place in the list or anything like that, we're just going to say restaurants.delete R. That ought to do it. Let's run this thing again. Oh, right. I need a browser. Okay. Wow. There we go. Okay, fun, another, and now this one can go up. All right, that is great. That's enough just to kind of get things going. Definitely something that people can talk about and play with, and that's the first step, you know, getting something as a prototype. Prototype complete. Now notice I didn't really spend much time in testing or anything here, because this is just getting some food on a plate. People can try it out and see what they like, and really think on what like the next steps ought to be. And only once you start to have some pretty decent confidence about your direction, that's when you start to include some testing. But right now, I mean, there's really not a whole lot that we've built. We have a couple of files here of code. We've got a style sheet with 3 lines. We've got a couple of template files. That's basically it. So we're in a pretty good spot. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, and I will see you the next time. Thanks a bunch.